So when we read that, maybe the first reaction will be that, oof, that's a lot. But the idea is actually to wake us up to those latent tendencies, to those fears that are actually driving us all day long if we are not aware of them. If we are not aware of them, they will actually manipulate us like a puppet, basically. And we might not realize that that's what is actually pushing us to say or to do something behind it. But if we create the conditions to slowly take care of them, by being aware of them, we will slowly actually be more free of them and react and live live more freely, so more happily, and also offer that outside to everybody around us. And there is a positive aspect in that meditation. Determined to live my days deeply in mindfulness, seeing the joy of the benefit of living mindfully, I breathe out. Vowing to offer joy each day to my beloved, vowing to ease the pain of my beloved. That was kind of the more positive outcome of it. So if we are able to hold that, to hold those difficult, latent tendencies that are actually driving us, if we are not aware, we'll see that we can actually, again, be much more free and offer that freedom back. Also, Tai added one that is actually speaking to our time, is knowing that the human species and our civilization will die, I breathe in. Knowing that our civilization cannot escape death, I breathe out. And this one, the first time I heard it, was oof. And that was exactly that. I knew there was something kind of exactly a latent tendency in me that knew exactly what is written here. But I've not been able to put words on it yet. But when Tai said that, I realized, oh yes, that was actually what was behind, and that fear that was behind, but I was not able to call it by its name yet. But thanks to Tai actually saying it, I felt much more free actually the first time I heard it. And I realized, actually, in what we call ultimate, and maybe we can speak about it later, but also in history, we see that species come and go, and civilization comes and go, and there is a part of us that would like to hold on to what we cherish today, but the reality of life is that everything is impermanent. The only thing permanent is impermanent. So this one, I was very grateful from our teacher to add it, because it really spoke to a big fear of our time, and help us being more free, and by being more free of it, to know better what to do actually about it, and not just react out of fear without really knowing what to do. But we need to do, so let's I don't know, what's the first thing I can see, and I will do. But if I can really calm down the emotions, I can know better actually that, like Tai saw, that maybe it's a way of our relationship with nature that has to change deeply first. And also, I mean, there are also good things that we can do right now, but concretely, but also there is also that aspect of how, as human beings, we have the tendency to feel that we are something completely cut off nature, when actually we are just another animal that thinks that because of that capacity, great capacity that made us survive, to put labels and to be able to use concepts that also, unfortunately, made us think on believe the illusion that we are something completely different, or we could survive without the nature around us. When actually our body will tell us, if there is no air for a few minutes, that's it. So actually we wouldn't survive very long if nature was not here right now. So that's how to wake up to those latent tendencies. And so we arrive at the last one, which I kind of already shared about. So breathing in, I calm my mental formation. Sorry. And breathing out, I calm my mental formation. And that's again, it's really when I'm able to name what is happening. First, I hold the sensation, and if it's suffering, it's usually an unpleasant, uncomfortable sensation in the body, and until at some point I will get the answer. But it's not by ruminating the story of the question in my mind, it's just by coming back to my breath, by coming back to what is happening in the present moment, and trusting that if it's important, if I hold that uncomfortable feeling, I will get the answer at some point. It will be like that eureka moment. That suddenly, poof! Oh yeah, that's it. That was just that. And that at that moment I will really be able to relax. Okay. So we are arriving at the end, and it's perfect because it's 11. So let's listen to one sound of the bell before we finish. So I hope that those 8 steps will be able to help you in your everyday life. Just look at it like a map. Forget about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because sometimes it doesn't work. Life is not so simple. Sometimes the first thing you have to do is actually to take care of the mental formation. And because maybe you have already the capacity at that moment to hold it and to name it. And after you will actually feel even more joyful and happy. So you see, it can work also the other way. So the importance is to really keep that aspiration alive again, that we were speaking about in the beginning. So that's why I was starting with it. And that maybe we can, it would be nice to share about it during our Dharma sharing actually. Because it's very nourishing also to hear each other's deepest aspiration. So one thing I didn't share about is about covering our suffering through consumption. So when we don't have the right conditions, you might have noticed that we may have already built some ways to avoid taking care of our suffering, of covering it. And some might involve those gadgets, electronic gadgets, that are very good at it. Because they are in our hand, so I'm feeling a little bit down and I don't have the capacity to hold it, or I don't want to hold it. That's more the inner child in us, sometimes that is saying, oh no, that's it, not now. So let's try to cover it by playing a game, or it can be many things. It can be also drugs at different levels. It can be sex. It can be. I'm sure you know what is how you have been able to. Unfortunately, what has been your strategy of trying to covering suffering, and it's okay. We are also here to embrace that part of us and realize that, okay, we have limits, and that's again a strategy to protect those vulnerable parts in us that we didn't know better at that moment. So that's why we kind of developed that strategy. But now maybe we can start to unpack actually that old strategy that we have been putting into place, and start to look at it and bring some light to it, so that we can understand much more slowly what is behind it, and what is that vulnerable part that we are trying actually to protect through that not very useful way of dealing with it. Okay, I think I will stop here. I hope some of what I shared will be useful for your practice. But anyway, we are all on the way. Monastics also. So don't think that we arrived anywhere. We are on the path. We are dealing with the same things as you, but we are just a little bit lazy, I would say. I don't know. No, it's just that I see that myself. I try to offer myself the best conditions by becoming a monk. So. But it's not the only way. You can also try to, and first to create the right conditions at home. And even that's even when the same machine, like the phone, can also sometimes help you in your practice. If you download the Plum Village app, you will have a capacity, an opportunity to listen to Dharma talks or or guided meditation, or yeah. Total relaxation, thank you. Total relaxation, or even set up a bell for you to come back to your breath. So not everything is bad actually. It really depends how we use it. Okay, now I will stop. Thank you. So we'll listen to 3 sounds of the bell. So we can come back to our breath. There is even a little poem also to listen to the bell. Is I listen, I listen. This wonderful sound brings me back to my true home. And we see, what is alive in us right now that is calling our attention.